Alright YouTube, hello and welcome. This is the 1-year anniversary of the SEC filing the most staged lawsuit in the history of the SEC, suing Ripple, a company that has been working with the banks and regulators since the very beginning, trying to bring innovation across the whole world, but it has been stifled in America by the SEC, the corrupt Garys and Jay Claytons of the world here that are trying to hold back the United States from adopting this technology. Now we're going to get into a 1-year review here of what all has happened with Ripple and XRP because a lot of people are confusing the facts. Yes, the price has been suppressed. At the time of this recording, we're back at $1. We're only up about 200 or 300% on the year, while the rest of the cryptocurrency space has gone on and had its incredible bull run. We have been left behind as XRP bag holders. The memes, the stablecoin jokes, and the clown face emojis that all of us who are holding the XRP holders have been coming in steady throughout the year. But that has not stopped the adoption of XRP, the partnerships with Ripple, the patents that include XRP, central bank digital currencies being built on the XRP Ledger, and now we're going to have the biggest airdrop in cryptocurrency history, the Sologenic airdrop in less than 48 hours. So let's get into it. Okay, here we have Brad's tweet. 1 year ago today, the SEC filed a lawsuit against Ripple, Chris Larson, and me, alleging that XRP, a public crypto that has been trading on the open market since 2013, should have been registered as a security. Now, Brad mentioned that 2020 was a banner year for Ripple despite a disappointing ending related to US regulation. We processed millions of RippleNet transactions, grew ODL 12 times year over year, and signed 15 new customers after the SEC complaint. So that was one of the first tweets from Brad of this year following the SEC announcing the lawsuit. Okay, one of the first tweets that Ripple retweeted. So we're going to work through here the full timeline for you guys, how this all started and how this year has progressed. Now, on the 29th of January, Stuart Alderati, who is the general counsel for Ripple, announced that they filed their preliminary legal response to the SEC's complaint. With it, we start to set the record straight and correct many misconceptions and contradictions within their allegations. And like I've been saying, most of the information that you're getting from 9 out of 10 influencers or creators who are talking about crypto, even the ones that are pro XRP, do not have the facts straight. Okay, there's many misconceptions about what the founders did, how XRP was created. They don't even know that it was gifted to Ripple. Okay, but that all goes back to the very beginning. But Stuart Alderati, from the very beginning, when they announced this preliminary legal response, we knew how strong of a case that Ripple had. I mean, from the very beginning, we knew that the SEC didn't have a case, period. The only thing that they were going to be able to do was settle up with Ripple. Now, obviously, this case is still undergoing, and that is my speculation, but as we've seen how this case has progressed, the truth has just been exposed. The longer this case goes on, the more the SEC gets exposed. Stuart Alderati says, no other country has classified XRP as a security. The SEC is at odds with its counterparts in the US and peers in other G20 markets. Now, what he means by his counterparts is he's talking about the CFTC, Commodities Futures Trading Commission, which in 2015 deemed XRP a digital currency. So that's what he means when he says that the SEC is at odds with its counterparts in the US and peers in other G20 markets. Now, the rest of the G20 markets have set their regulations. They're letting crypto innovation happen in their countries, while the US is being held back. Stuart says, Ripple never held an ICO, nor did we ever sell or offer XRP as an investment. For 8 years, XRP has traded in an open market independent of Ripple. And so we started off the year with a bad piece of news, or at least that's what we were told by the mainstream news. When the MoneyGram partnership with Ripple ended, it was a successful test of XRP and on-demand liquidity. And overall, it did prove the concept of using XRP, providing liquidity, and processing billions of dollars through RippleNet. It was the first of its kind product brought to market, and the test was very successful. Now, they go on to say that they are committed to revisiting our relationship in the future, and I want to remind everyone that MoneyGram at any point could flip the switch and be settling with XRP once again. They've already updated to that technology, on-demand liquidity, and so at any point they could just flip the switch back on again and be settling with XRP. And as you heard from the CEO of MoneyGram, XLM, who they're now partnered with Stellar, is for the front-facing and consumer-facing side, and XRP is for the back-end settlements. So two completely different use cases, and overall it was a successful test with Ripple and on-demand liquidity. At the time, we all felt that this was bearish, but overall we can be looking back at this as a successful test of the XRP on-demand liquidity network. Now, in the beginning of the year, the US OCC, which is the comptroller of the currency, announced that banks would be granted permission to connect to public blockchains. For those who don't remember, the US OCC, they regulate banks and they set the rules and regulations for the banking sector. Now, this tweet says, but how can they build on their benefits? Ripple CTO Joel Katz breaks down how banks can issue stablecoins using the XRP Ledger. And right after that, Ripple announces that they are piloting a private ledger for central banks, launching central bank digital currencies. So although the XRP Ledger is a public blockchain, they created a private layer for central banks to use without showing their balances, without showing what they're doing to all of us regular folks. And this is going to help central banks adopt this technology, the fact that there is a public-private hybrid layer. It's similar to XDC and why I think that will be such a successful project with the enterprise solutions XDC has to offer. It's that public-private hybrid layer that was built into XDC. Here, Ripple created it for central banks. Monica Long goes on to tell us that tokenization has always been a key feature of the XRP Ledger, with over 5,400 issued tokens since inception. Central bank digital currencies will live on new private ledgers that run parallel to the XRP Ledger, using XRP as a bridge to interoperate with other currencies. No more walled gardens. And that's what is so key about XRP, is that it is a neutral bridge currency. Ripple goes on to say that this will provide central banks with a secure, controlled, and flexible solution to create and manage digital currencies. And I should add the fact that they created a toolkit for you to build and launch your central bank digital currency on the XRP Ledger in just one day. So now that Ripple is ready to onboard central bank digital currencies, they went ahead and announced the RippleNet Cloud offering, which allows them to onboard their clients who are using RippleNet. Ripple says that RippleNet Cloud allows banks and financial institutions to move away from aging and expensive legacy on-premise infrastructure and embrace the flexibility, speed, and resilience of cloud computing without the burden of hardware management. So this is also allowing them to onboard clients much faster. And we know that they moved into this year already having 400 banks and financial institutions as partners. Ripple confirming that and stating that they have clients in over 55 countries across the world. And as we just announced, they have ODL corridors already fired up using XRP in over 20 countries as of today. Now, expanding further on the RippleNet Cloud offering, this allows customers to send and receive payments with one integration and a common Ripple payment object amongst all customers on RippleNet, meaning less friction and more standardization when customers are ready to scale. So basically, this is letting them onboard to RippleNet, and we also know that RippleNet and XRP is ISO compliant. So when the 11,000 institutions that are part of Swift's network need to update, RippleNet Cloud could actually help them onboard to this new technology. So they're telling us that they can onboard their RippleNet clients 5 weeks faster than on-prem customers and avoid hardware requisition or staffing to get started. So this is just onboarding everyone so much faster. So you can build a central bank digital currency in one day on the XRP Ledger, and now you can onboard whole enterprises, whole businesses 5 weeks faster using this RippleNet Cloud. Now, this also doesn't mean that they have to use on-demand liquidity using XRP, but it makes it easier for financial institutions to add alternative settlements through on-demand liquidity. Cloud customers can also maintain and make new connections more easily through one API for all of their RippleNet connections. This is all about the ecosystem that is being built. Even though some of them are not using XRP as of today, all it takes is the flip of the switch. Once you're on RippleNet, Ripple is onboarding the financial institutions, holding their hand before they are ready to use digital assets like XRP for settlement. Now, the banks and financial institutions that do not onboard this technology are going to get left behind. But Ripple is enabling them to get onboarded faster, and they're giving them the best technology offerings through RippleNet and then settling with XRP using on-demand liquidity. One example is Money Match using RippleNet to reduce global transfer costs by 40% and provide same-day settlements. So RippleNet is speeding them up, but XRP makes it even cheaper and faster. So Ripple, what they're doing is they're onboarding the banks and financial institutions to this RippleNet, and then they're moving them into on-demand liquidity, settling with XRP. Now, the first acquisition of the year for Ripple was acquiring a 40% stake in the cross-border payment specialist Tranglo. Now, they announced this earlier on in the year, and then this was later on one of the first corridors that fired up for on-demand liquidity in the Philippines. And as energy consumption became a major issue this year, we saw that Ripple joined the Crypto Climate Accord, achieving sustainability in cryptocurrency. Then they went on to partner with Nelnet to do a $44 million clean energy fund. Around this time, Brad Garlinghouse was interviewed by Bloomberg, and he reminded everyone that one Bitcoin transaction equals 75 gallons of gasoline being burned. So if you compare XRP and Bitcoin, XRP only consumes 0.0079 kilowatts an hour of electricity compared to Bitcoin's 700 kilowatts an hour. Now, Ripple announced the line of credit offering in 2020, but it was still in beta mode. But we saw them actually implement it, and many of their customers actually start to use this line of credit, which they are offering to their RippleNet clients. And this makes global transactions even more affordable for their customers. Then CNBC went on to rank Ripple number 38 in this year's CNBC Disruptor 50 list. And then RippleX announced that they were launching the XRP Ledger Grants Program, which is funding open source projects that advance the growing community around the XRP Ledger. Later this year, they went on to announce that 25 grantees from 10 plus countries were granted $2 million to build innovative new projects on the XRP Ledger. And speaking of innovation on the XRP Ledger, we had David Schwartz announce his vision for federated sidechains on the XRP Ledger. So this allows people to basically make test nets on the XRP Ledger without disrupting the main net of XRP. People are now able to use the federated sidechains to test or prove their concept before bringing it to the main net. Now, to get into some of these partnerships that were announced over this year, we see here in June that the Bank Dhofar, which is Oman's second largest bank, recently joined RippleNet to enable cross-border transactions that are instant, reliable, cost-effective, and offer end-to-end visibility anywhere in the world. And this was just the start of Ripple dominating in the Middle East this year. Then it was announced that RippleNet Cloud was connecting Money Match app in the Al Ansari exchange to redefine the customer experience in Malaysia. And this was all part of a record year for RippleNet, reporting that their transactions have doubled since Q3 of 2020. The on-demand liquidity transactions are up 130% quarter over quarter, and on-demand liquidity is now available in 20 markets versus only 3 of last year. And a couple more stats, we have on-demand liquidity transactions accounting for 25% of the total dollar volume across the network. And they go on to say that while the United States on-demand liquidity flows were essentially halted due to regulatory uncertainty, international on-demand liquidity volume has continued to surge, with volume growing more than 25 times since Q3 of last year. And one of those on-demand liquidity corridors being the National Bank of Egypt and Lulu International Exchange connecting through RippleNet to elevate remittance experience into Egypt. This is one of the largest corridors in the region, and the National Bank of Egypt is the largest bank in that country. And then heading back over to the APAC region, where transactions are growing 130% year over year, it was announced that Ripple is partnering with GME Remittance to accelerate and scale payments from South Korea into Thailand. Continuing in the APAC region, it was announced the first live on-demand liquidity offering in Japan, which was SBI Remit. You already know that SBI is eating up XRP, adopting it in all of their institutional grade offerings for all of their clients over in Japan. And back to the Middle East, we had Qatar's National Bank partnering with Ripple. That is the largest bank in Qatar. And moving back to central bank digital currencies, Ripple dropped their own central bank digital currency white paper this year. And the best part about this is that they included that private layer for the central banks, so they don't have to operate publicly on the public layer, which is going to bring much more adoption. And what they were touting in this private layer was hundreds of thousands of transactions per second. So much more scalable, much more efficient than the mainnet, the main public layer of the XRP Ledger. And this is ensuring greater control over issuance, management, privacy, and validation, more so than a public blockchain. And following that, we had the announcement that Ripple was partnering with the Royal Monetary Authority of Bhutan, which would use the Ripple's central bank digital currency solution to pilot a digital, I'm not even going to try to pronounce that currency, but that is the CBDC of Bhutan. Following up with that, we had the Republic of Palau partnering with Ripple to develop their central bank digital currency. Following that, we had the big announcement that Ripple was going to be joining the Digital Pound Foundation, working on creating the central bank digital currency for the UK. And it can't go without mentioning that the Bank of England piloted the XRP Ledger back in 2018. So their relationship goes back years on working on creating this central bank digital currency. Now, in a random development, we have David Schwartz announcing that wrapped XRP is coming to Ethereum. He says it's great news for those that want to access XRP within Ethereum wallets, DeFi, and smart contracts. It's a multi-chain world after all. And the best part about this is you have XRP, which is being argued as a security by the SEC, being put on the free pass security that is Ethereum. And one of the bigger developments announced by Ripple earlier this year was the Liquidity Hub, which will be launching officially in 2022, but it is already being piloted. And this is going to help financial service firms offer cryptocurrency to their clients. Ripple's Liquidity Hub will allow enterprises to source, trade, move, and manage value from a variety of liquidity venues. This is one of the biggest issues that we are currently facing, is getting these institutional grade clients and enterprises to onboard crypto services for their clients. They want to offer them crypto, but this Liquidity Hub will help them do so. Specifically, clients will be able to offer trading in a selection of cryptocurrencies including Bitcoin, Ethereum, Litecoin, Ethereum Classic, Bitcoin Cash, and XRP. The company also hopes to offer other digital assets like NFTs in the future. The feature is currently in a preview stage but is set to launch in 2022. Ashish Birla from RippleNet describes the Liquidity Hub as an aggregator for various liquidity venues and individual assets, the way that Google Flights is for airlines and flights. Now, in regards to NFTs, Ripple announced that they were going to be investing into the Mintable app. And this is going to allow developers to purchase NFTs sustainably, securely, and at low cost using the XRP Ledger. But Ripple took it one step further, announcing their $250 million creator fund for NFTs. Now, at the time of this announcement, this was the largest investment into the NFT space. But I remember a couple weeks after that, Galaxy Digital from Mike Novogratz announced a larger fund. But at the time that this was announced, this was the largest fund out in the space. So $250 million going to NFT creators on the XRP Ledger. And then Ripple announced a partnership with Change.com, where they will develop the first carbon credit solution on the XRP Ledger. Now, I had to save the biggest development for last, and of course, that is a Ripple appointing the 43rd Treasurer of the United States to its board amid the legal fight with the SEC. Rosie Rios was the 43rd Treasurer appointed by Barack Obama, and my favorite quote from her this year was her in regards to cryptocurrency stating that the train has left the station. In conclusion, I want to say thank you to everyone in the XRP community, especially giving a shout out to all the members who have been staying over the target, sharing the truth about the Ethereum free pass and what has actually been going on at the corrupt SEC that is holding back the United States from cryptocurrency innovation. If you want to join the class action lawsuit put on by John Dean, I'm going to link that up in the description down below. He is representing over 60,000 members. Now, I know it has been a tough year holding our little stablecoin while the rest of the cryptocurrency space has gone on to make their gains, but I'm optimistic that great times are ahead. Whether the lawsuit ends in January or they stall it out till December, we know what's going to happen once XRP is unlocked. The utility that is coming to this ledger is incredible. We will be running the internet of value, and nothing can stop what is coming. I appreciate you all, and we will see you in the next one. Take care. God bless.